Good morning, good morning. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. See, today we are back in the garage again, ready to work on the GTR. We got some fuel system stuff to get done. We got AEM pumps, T1 flex fuel kit, got my Ecutech. So today we're gonna work on getting all that stuff put in. My injectors should be here today. I hope they are. Because with the T1 kit, I have to take off the intake manifold, which I have to take off the intake manifold anyway to put the injectors on. So I would like to do that all one time. I really hate doing things twice. So I guess we're gonna get started with probably the pumps, so I can get that done, get it over with, and then I'll come up here and work on flex fuel kit and taking the intake manifold off and all of that. Then I can obviously put some type of tuner in here with the Ecutech. I already talked to my tuner. He's gonna remote in, and at least that way I'll be able to drive the car. So I'm sure you've seen multiple videos about how to do the fuel pumps. So we're gonna have to take this back seat out. Once you pull this, it comes right up. You take this cover off, fuel pumps and everything is back behind that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on that. It's really kind of dark in here. I don't really have any other light that I can put in here. Not a light small enough anyway. So especially now I got my windows retinted. Maybe I can open that door. I do have LED lights for the entire car. Those lights, the trunk lights, maybe I'll install those also. But let's get this cover off, and I'll catch you when I have the pump and basket and everything out. So I found a little light. So like I was saying, once you pull the seat cover up, you just pull this cover off, and that way you can see pump. So all you do, turn these little tabs so they line up. And this cover pops off. And then you'll be able to get to the fuel pump. Wires and the basket and everything is under there. So those lines are going to have some pressure in them. So a lot of people disconnect the fuel pump and start the car to try to get some of the pressure out of those lines. It's no real other way of getting the pressure out. So either you're going to do it or you're not. But gas is going to leak out of this. So I'm going to go ahead and get these lines apart, get this harness disconnected, and pull this basket out. So I got the power on, so I can raise the seat all the way up, give me a little bit of room. Got me a bunch of rags. Now I already took the electrical connection off. Let's try to get that out of the way. So how you, let's bring this light down here. What you do is you squeeze these clips together, pull the lines off, both of them. So I got a bunch of rags. What I'm gonna do is try to cover them up and pull those lines off And then there is 8mm or Phillips head all the way around, holding the top of the basket in. So let's get these lines loose and hopefully don't spray the whole inside of my car with gas. All right, that wasn't bad at all. So now we take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 8mm bolts. I can't believe these things are in there that tight. I never got that out with a screwdriver, but I can see they have the coating just around the whole thing. Put those in there so I don't lose them. Take that ring off. So now you can pull this up. Kind of got to work the hard lines out and the float. Make sure you don't damage any of that. Kind of twist it. It'll come on out. Got the float out. Now, the rest of that basket is down in there with a clip. Kind of hard for you to see, but when I get it out, I'll show you. There's a clip on the bottom of the basket. You just gotta lift up and slide so that whole thing can come out. Now once it's out, you have 3 more lines on the bottom that you gotta take off. You got a little one with a 90 on it, 2 more straights. So they work the same way as the ones that were on the top. You push the 2 connectors in, slide the line off, and then you can take the whole fuel pump hanger assembly out of the car. So we got the whole assembly out of the car. Like I said, these are the pumps that are going in. Now to get this whole thing apart, you have these clips right here. So you lift up the one in the middle, you squeeze the two on the sides together and push the whole thing up. And you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips all the way around the whole thing. So once you get those all spread apart, well, clip these together, and you can separate the top from the bottom. So let's get that done. So I got everything pretty much separated. Now just got to take this little dude off right here. Slide them out of there. And the whole thing will come apart. There you have it. It's all apart. There's a little gasket. Make sure you don't lose that. That goes around here. That thing looks pretty dirty in there. I'll clean it up before I put it back together. But your pumps are right here, 1 and 2. So again, it's all just clipped in. So let's get these pumps out and get the new AEM pumps in. All right, so there's some little clips right here. 1, 2. There's 4 of them that holds each pump in. All you do is stick a little screwdriver in right here, pop this up, pull this off, and that's where you can slide the pumps out. So we got all of these off. Now you just slide the pumps out, and these AEM pumps are plug and play. So you slide one out, you put one in. There's a O-ring that holds them up in there. So if you look down in there, see that little O-ring in there? Gotta pull that out. Let's get the other pump out. So now you got to get both those O-rings out. You have to reuse that and this little clip right here, and this little clip right here. So let's get a new pump out. Got new O-rings. So here's the AEM pump versus the stock pump. So let me get these O-rings out. Alright, we got the old O-rings out. Here's the new O-rings in the bag. And now we have to take off this little cap. We got to take off this plastic clip on this factory pump. Slide that onto the AEM pump, along with a new O-ring. Put a little Vaseline or some oil on there so it can slide into the pump good, and you're good to go. And we get the other one set up the same way. We can slide these in. Okay, got both pumps prepared. Already got them lubed up so they'll slide into the basket. Now all you do is plug it up. Plug one in. Slide one in. And you plug the other in. Slide it on in there. There you go. Now I took these wires out of this right here just so I can have more room to slide it out, so I can show you what was going on. So make sure you put those back if you do take them out. So now just pull these caps off the bottom of the pumps. Put the filters back on the bottom, and we can slide the two halves back together. So, just like this, take a little pick, pull that cover off, it'll snap right into place. All right, we got one sock on. Now, you do the same thing with the other one. All you do is slide it on. Make sure that you hear it click. And that is it. So now, all you do is make sure this is all clean. Remember, it was a little dirty, so I'm gonna go ahead and wipe it all out. Make sure there's nothing in there. So I got that all wiped out. And remember, this little gasket came off, so I'm gonna put this back, make sure that's on there so we can get a good seal like we're supposed to. It only goes on one way because it's molded. Put that on. We can take this whole assembly. And it all slides right back together. Once you hear all of the clips, you know that it's all back together. Then remember, we took this off. So we slide this back into place like that. We gotta make sure we put this back on right here. That clips in, everything's all clipped in. Now it's all ready to go back in the car. Now we're back in the car. Remember, we had these three that we had to take off before we could take the whole basket up. So what I did was, the last one that goes at the top right here, I wrapped up in this rag. The rest of them, I just let them fall back in the tank, so that way I knew which way they went. The two straights, you don't want to cross them. This one only goes one way, it's smaller anyway. This is where the 90 goes. These are the two straights. So this straight is wrapped up in this rag right here. So we get all three of these put back on. We can slide the basket back in the tank and lock it in place. Okay, got all three of those hooked back up. Now you just slide this basket back into the tank. Remember the clip I was telling you about? That is right here. So it has rails on the bottom. See those grooves? It slides into grooves in the tank. I don't think you can see down in there. But once you get them lined up, you push the basket from the front of the car to the back of the car, and it'll lock into place. Once you get the hanger locked back into place, you'll hear it clip. And then all you gotta do is feed all this back in, along with the float. Make sure you don't damage anything. Then you can put the top on. Now once you get this thing back down in there, make sure that both surfaces are dry. The back of this and this O-ring down here. Make sure it's all dry so it seals up right. And you'll know when you got it in there, it'll just kind of fall into place. Then all you have to do is put the retaining ring back on. Put all those 8mm screws that go back around the top of it. Hook your fuel lines up and then you're done. But make sure your connector doesn't have any fuel or anything in either one of those before you go plugging this thing back up. So now all we got to do is get this ring set back on there, put all the screws back in, hook everything back up. Okay, we got all of the 8mm tight. All you gotta do is plug these back up. That one. that one. Then you plug the electrical connectors back up. Make sure you hear a good solid click. And that is that. This back up. Again, like I say, you just take a screwdriver or whatever. And you just turn this where it locks them back in place. Might have to push it down a little bit. And that is that. All you have to do, put the seat back in. Fuel pumps are done. Back seats back in. Now we can check, make sure it starts up fine. Keys already in. Yeah. Starts perfect. All right, so like I said before, fuel pumps are done. I am waiting on my injectors, and I do have the T1 flex fuel kit here. But since I do have to pull the intake manifold off and all the fuel lines and stuff for this, I think I'm just going to wait because the injectors aren't here and I don't want to pull it apart and leave it apart, and I don't want to pull it apart twice. So I think that is going to do it for this video. Like I said, I really hate doing stuff twice. I'm pretty sure you guys do too. If you want to do something, you just want to do it once. So there's really no reason to pull that thing apart twice. We might as well just wait for the injectors to get here. Hopefully they'll be here in the next couple days. Then we can get this thing tuned. But for now, pumps are in. The only other thing I need to do is put those injectors in and the flex fuel kit. Then we can be off to the dyno. So that's going to do it for this video. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, share it. Don't forget to tell them to hit that notification bell. I'll catch y'all in the next video. Deuces.